Hey guys, it's Mr. Tinner here to talk to you about the causes of the Great Depression. We are talking about some of the four main causes of the Great Depression. What you need to do is open up the file LinkedIn Schoology and get the student notes version of this and take the notes as I go through it in the Screencastify here. So open that up and get ready to take some notes. All right, we are talking about a new unit here. We have the causes of the Great Depression. One of those first causes that we look at is poverty in the midst of plenty. So what does that mean? In our notes in the 1920s, it seemed like everyone was getting rich, but that's not really the case. Yes, millionaires are increasing by 200 or 400%, but not everyone is growing rich in the 1920s. Not everyone is putting money into the stock market and trying to get rich either. 60% of families earn less than $2,000 per year. So there are a lot of people living underneath what we would consider middle class at the time. There's 1/3 of the total income is going to be earned by 5% of wealthy Americans. So if you think about that, 1/3 of total income in the United States is earned by the top 5% of Americans. That is called income inequality. In other words, the majority of people lived in poverty while a small minority are very, very rich. All right, a second cause of the Great Depression are the problems of farmers. During World War I, it was all about the industrialization of how to kill people more efficiently and things like that. Well, this industrial revolution also comes to farming with new machinery, tractors and things like that, enabling farmers to produce more efficiently. So this new machinery helps farmers produce too much food in the 1920s. Well, too much food doesn't seem like an issue, right? Wrong. Remember that old thing about supply and demand. If you have too much supply of something, okay, and there's not enough demand, the price is going to go down. So if these farmers can't sell off their crops, they're not going to make any money. So this causes a surplus of food. The surplus causes prices to drop, meaning lower income for farmers being brought in. Are they going to be able to pay their rent, pay their mortgage, keep their farm if they're not making any money? Lacking money, the farmers have to borrow from banks. What do you need to borrow for? Well, you need to borrow to buy a new tractor, maybe to buy seeds, to plant, maybe to buy fertilizer, whatever it might be, or to buy new heads of cattle and things like that. Now, if you borrowed money and bought seed with it and then there's a drought, well, then you're not able to harvest anything. And it's kind of like the stock market. If those stock prices go down, if those crops don't grow, you can't make money. And all of a sudden you're in a situation where you cannot pay your bills and you're going to lose your farm. So many farmers could not pay back their loans and the banks will force them from their land. If you know farmers are very, very good at a lot of what they do. But could a farmer then directly go into another job or another line of work? Could they become an engineer? Or could they go work as a stock trader? Probably not. So these farmers then, if they're no longer farming, what are they able to do? Are they able to translate their skills into something else that they can do in the economy? Farmers are now out of work and out of money and not producing food, which we need to feed the United States. All right. Another cause of the Great Depression is durable goods. Well, how do durable goods create a depression? That's a good question. What is a durable good is an even better question. And so a durable good is meant to last for several years without needing to be replaced. Things like cars from back then, not necessarily cars today, washing machines, refrigerators, things like that. Like a durable good, canned food, things like that that are meant to last for a long time would be considered a durable good. But how does that lead to a depression? Well, if you could afford it, you probably bought it during the 1920s when you had extra money laying around and the stock market was doing very well. So you probably already have it, so there's no more demand for that durable good anymore if you already have that radio and that electric washing machine and dryer. So by the 1930s, when time rolls around and the stock market has crashed, people can't afford durable goods. So the companies that are making durable goods can no longer afford to keep people employed. So they're going out of business because no one can afford the goods that they're making. Many businesses that produce durable goods went out of business, which led to the rise of unemployment to over 25%. And it's even a higher rate for minorities in the United States. The banking system will also fail. How do banks make money? They charge interest, right? And they determine who should get a loan and who should not based on your credit. Well, credit is a new thing in the 1920s and 1930s. And so banks are making loans. People want loans to invest in the stock market or to invest in their farm. And this is called speculation. They think they're going to take out a loan for $100,000 and they'll make money. And they'll be able to pay off that loan. But what if the stock market goes down? If they speculate incorrectly and the stocks actually drop and they don't make a profit, what happens then? This, when you don't actually have the money to invest, is called buying on margin. Using someone else's money to invest in the stock market. Many people borrow money from the bank in order to invest in the stock market and to hopefully raise their money from there. If that didn't happen, how do they pay back the bank? Well, they can't. When the market crashes, individuals will lose money and the ability to pay back the banks. The banks are forced to close by 1929. 600 banks closed by 1933. 11,000 to 25,000 banks in the United States are closed. These banks have made bad loans. They didn't really vet the applicants very well. Something similar happened in 2008 in the housing bubble, especially in Arizona and Florida, where people might have been approved for $1 million loans, but really they should have only bought a house for $500,000. They were maxing out their loans from the bank, buying $1 million homes. The price of those homes dropped, and they couldn't get the money back for them. They were what you would call underwater for their homes, and they were forced to walk away and suffer a great financial loss, perhaps even a bankruptcy in 2008. Well, same thing here. If you didn't have enough cash on hand as a bank, then you couldn't pay back the people who had invested and made investments in the bank. Your bank can no longer run. You don't have the money on hand. It has disappeared, especially into the market at times. If you're an online student, I want you to log into Edpuzzle and watch the 2 videos. There's a Causes of the Great Depression video with a guy with an interesting accent. And then there's a short cartoon version of the Great Depression in a 5-minute. So watch those videos, go through, answer those questions. Those are some of the causes of the Great Depression. You want to know them. There will be an essay question on the exam based on those 4 main causes. All right, thanks. Have a great day.